Sometimes the truth has a price. That may be the lesson of a Virginia police officer who says in trying to do the right thing, he ended up paying for it. Of one man who confronted truth and consequences.
This is the Truth and Consequences podcast with Doug Poppa.
We also have continuing coverage of a missing persons case. The Carroll County Sheriff's Office is asking for your help finding a Wisconsin woman. Take a look. 37-year-old Melissa Trumpy of Monticello, Wisconsin, was last seen Tuesday night. The Carroll County Sheriff's Office says Trumpy might have stopped by Shannon, Illinois before she disappeared.
The family of a missing 37-year-old woman is pleading for help and answers. Family believes she is somewhere in the Stephenson County and Carroll County area. Rachel Perry caught up with them today during their search. And Rachel, they tell you they need help to cover more ground.
Yeah, Alexis. Family says Melissa Ann Trumpy was last seen in Shannon, Illinois at an old boyfriend's house. But they tell me no one has heard from her since Tuesday.
We believe that someone's got to know something that isn't speaking.
Mandy in Bogue is desperately searching for her younger sister, Melissa Ann Trumpy. She tells me Melissa left her job Tuesday night around 10:30. Mandy believes Melissa met up with her boyfriend later that night.
They left together around 12 to 12:30 that night, and he returned between 3 to 4 that morning alone.
Trumpy's truck was found near West Pearl City Road and South Bolton Road, but no sign of her. Now, days into the search, and Mandy is hoping for the best, but preparing for the worst.
Day in and day out, sleeping and breathing my sister, because that is my best friend and my person. She has been my person, so I can't rest until I can bring her home. And she's got 3 children, and they need their mom, and they need closure or they need their mom back.
Mandy believes someone might have hurt Melissa, and she's pleading with the community for help.
So he isn't going to be obvious, but he's not that smart either. So just look under things, heavily meadowed areas, creek lines, anything on your property. Just go around your property, search, see if anything looks out of place or wasn't there before.
Family is searching a 20-mile radius around Shannon, Illinois, including areas of Stephenson County. Mandy and Melissa's Aunt Peggy Bankston say they just want to bring her home.
The more land we can cover, the better, because we just want to bring my sister home. This is a person with a family and children, and we just want to bring her home.
Yeah, we want to bring her home.
Carroll County Sheriff's Office has not named anyone a suspect in Melissa's disappearance. They are asking for the public's help in locating her. If you have any information or would like to help search for Melissa, you can contact the Carroll County Sheriff's Office at the number on the screen.
There's still no sign of a 37-year-old woman with ties to the state line. We told you Sunday, Melissa Trumpy left work in Monticello, Wisconsin, October 26th. Family members say she was going to her boyfriend's house in Shannon, Illinois. Her car turned up abandoned in rural Freeport. Rachel Perry met up again with Melissa's family there. Rachel, what's new with the search?
Eric, Melissa Trumpy's family tells me they're feeling defeated. Today, they showed me the spot her car was found just outside Freeport. But they say it's still unclear how it got there or where she could be now.
No matter what happened to her, just help us bring her home, have a heart, think of her family.
Mandy in Bogue is pleading for answers 9 days after her sister, Melissa Trumpy, was last seen.
You're going to come back and you're going to say, okay, so.
She was too good of a person to be out here, left wherever, however. She was way too good of a person to be dealt with like that.
Family believes Melissa went to see her boyfriend in Shannon and hasn't been seen since.
That's my sister. You know our family. You sat down with us for holidays and dinners. You went on, we did things with the kids together. We were a family once.
The boyfriend was arrested the next day on unrelated charges.
If you have any heart, any soul at all for the family and her children, help us bring her home.
That is a place that you should search. It's a 20-minute, as long as it's within the 20-minute radius.
Gia Wright is the president of Missing Persons Awareness Network. She's assisting the family in searching Carroll and Stephenson County for Melissa.
This should make you angry because one of these days, one of you guys at least will have somebody that's missing. And this is what you will want for you, which means that you need to come together and reach out for one person that you don't know.
Wright tells me finding her before the winter snow is critical.
As a community, we have to be responsible for our people. She was not from here, but she went missing here.
We're getting to the point where we just want to bring her home, and we just don't know how to, is how we feel like we're doing all we can. Oh, yeah.
You can't carry the body and bend over at the same time.
Family is asking anyone to come to a candlelight vigil for Melissa. That's happening tonight at 6:30 in Shannon. I'll put more information about that on our website, mystateline.com.
Volunteers focused their search near Freeport for a missing woman. We told you Sunday, 37-year-old Melissa Trumpy left work in Monticello, Wisconsin, October 26th. That's the last time anyone saw her. Family members say she was going to her boyfriend's house in Shannon, Illinois. Her car turned up abandoned close to Pearl City in Stevenson County. Rachel Perry met up again with Melissa's family there today.
No matter what happened to her, like, just help us bring her home. Have a heart. Think of her family.
Mandy in Bogue is pleading for answers 9 days after her sister, Melissa Trumpy, was last seen. Family believes Melissa went to see her boyfriend in Shannon and hasn't been seen since.
You're going to come back and you're going to say, okay, so...
She was too good of a person to be out here, left wherever, however. She was way too good of a person to be dealt with like that.
The boyfriend was arrested the day after she was last seen on unrelated charges. I went to his family's home trying to get some more information. We're looking to talk with someone and hopefully just finding Melissa. And family really wants to bring her home. Do you know anything?
No, sorry.
And can I ask, who are you?
Mike, sorry guys.
And the door's shut, but Mandy believes the family knows more than they're saying.
That's my sister. You know our family. You sat down with us for holidays and dinners. You went on, you know, we did things with the kids together. We were a family once. If you have any heart, any soul at all for the family and her children, like, help us bring her home.
Rachel joins us in the studio. Rachel, the family's holding a vigil tonight. When is that, and what do they hope comes from it?
Eric, it starts in about 30 minutes in Shannon. They tell me shedding light on Melissa's case is the main goal. The Missing Persons Awareness Network is also now working with the family and assisting in searching Carroll and Stevenson County for Melissa. Anyone with information can contact them or the Carroll County Sheriff's Office.
A missing Illinois woman's family travels to Wisconsin in search of answers. No one's seen Melissa Trumpy since she left work October 26th.
The 37-year-old was reportedly headed to her boyfriend's home in Carroll County. Melissa's boyfriend, Derek Hammer, was set to appear in a Wisconsin courtroom today. Rachel Perry was there, and Rachel, Melissa's family left disappointed.
Yeah, Mimi and Eric, they wanted to confront Hammer, and they tell me they believe he knows where Melissa is. Court documents show Hammer has a history with her.
He went the next day and told his teacher that he'd witnessed his mother being struck in the face by Derek Hammer.
Just more than a month before Melissa Trumpy was last seen, her boyfriend Derek Hammer was charged with domestic abuse. His arrest came after Melissa's son told his teacher he saw Hammer yelling at Melissa before the night turned violent.
And Derek pointed a shotgun at Melissa in front of my 6-year-old son, Mateo. So he went into school and he told the teacher about that.
Ben Affrenti is the father of Melissa's kids. He says they desperately want their mom back.
It's hard. I mean, it's heartbreaking. I had my daughter wrote a Christmas wish list to Santa Claus a couple days ago, and came and handed me to that. And I mean, the biggest thing on there she wanted was Santa to bring mom home.
Melissa's family and friends believe Hammer knows where she is. They showed up to his domestic violence hearing in Greene County in Wisconsin Wednesday, expecting to confront him. But were mad when they learned he wasn't there. He's in custody in Carroll County on other charges.
So we were really hoping to just look him in the eyes and let him see us see him, you know, and make him look at us and think about what he's done.
Melissa's sister, Mandy in Bogue, says she doesn't understand where she could be.
She doesn't have any means of money or a vehicle or anything like that. So we just need her, but we have everything else of hers.
Carroll County Sheriff Ryan Cloping tells me he cannot confirm or deny if Hammer is a person of interest in Melissa's disappearance. I have asked him repeatedly for an interview. The FBI and Illinois State Police are also assisting on the case. Family tells me they are still searching for her, focusing on where her car was found on Bolton Road in rural Freeport.
There's still been no sign of missing Illinois woman Melissa Trumpy. We told you about this story for weeks. No one has seen the 37-year-old since October 26th. When she headed to her boyfriend's house in Shannon.
The next day, Trumpy's car was found abandoned in Stevenson County. Melissa's boyfriend, Derek Hammer, was set to appear in court today following a domestic abuse charge from September. Rachel Perry has the latest on the search.
He went the next day and told his teacher that he'd witnessed his mother being struck in the face by Derek Hammer.
Just more than a month before Melissa Trumpy was last seen, her boyfriend Derek Hammer was charged with domestic abuse. His arrest came after Melissa's son told his teacher he saw Hammer hit Melissa and pull a gun on her. Ben Affrenti is the father of Melissa's kids. He says they desperately want their mom back.
It's hard. I mean, it's heartbreaking. I had my daughter wrote a Christmas wish list to Santa Claus a couple days ago, and came and handed me to that. And I mean, the biggest thing on there she wanted was Santa to bring mom home.
Melissa's family and friends believe Hammer knows where she is. They showed up to his domestic violence hearing in Greene County in Wisconsin Wednesday, expecting to confront him, but were mad when they learned he wasn't there. He's in custody in Carroll County on other charges.
So we were really hoping to just look him in the eyes and let him see us see him, you know, and make him look at us and think about what he's done.
Carroll County Sheriff Ryan Klepping tells me he cannot confirm or deny if Hammer is a person of interest in Melissa's disappearance. Melissa's sister, Mandy and Boge, says they just want her back.
I mean, I'll be out here until I find my sister and can bring her home. Until I have no other choice, I will be here.
Reporting in Greene County for your home team, I'm Rachel Perry.
This weekend marks more than a month since loved ones of Melissa Trumpy last saw or heard from her. Rachel Perry has been talking to the family since the search for Melissa began. Rachel, now that the FBI and Illinois State Police are involved, what do those searches look like?
Alexis, Carroll County, Stevenson County, the FBI, and Illinois State Police are all working to locate Melissa. The most recent search happened this weekend in Freeport, and family tells me the added resources are giving them hope.
If anybody can do it, they can, right? So yeah. I feel like it's a positive thing. It's something we've been pushing for.
A month later, and family still doesn't know what happened to Melissa Trumpy. They say the 37-year-old was on her way to her boyfriend's house in Shannon, Illinois on October 26. They haven't seen or heard from the mother of three since. Her car found abandoned the next day near Pearl City. Now the FBI, Illinois State Police, and Stevenson County are helping Carroll County with the search. Melissa's sister, Mandy and Boge, says the added assistance gives her hope.
And you really do need the equipment to do it. And if you don't, we could be doing this forever. I'm hopeful now that we have extra help now and more resourceful people.
With the holidays approaching, her family is feeling anxious. The father of Melissa's kids, Ben Affrenti, tells me they just want to bring her home before Christmas.
Every day that she's gone, you know, there's no closure, you know, for my kids. And I mean, at this point in time, it's hard to expect a real positive outcome, but the most positive outcome that we could have here, I think, is to find Melissa and bring her home.
But Ben and Mandy tell me they feel Melissa's boyfriend, Derek Hammer, is the key to finding her and say they think he hurt Melissa.
Oh, I'd love to know where my sister's been for this past month, and it would be great to know some details, you know. I would love for them to talk, you know, maybe just once out of this past month and say something, you know, that could maybe be helpful.
Hammer was arrested in Carroll County on unrelated charges the day after Melissa was reported missing. This is the first time Mandy and Ben have seen his mugshot from that arrest. It shows injuries to his face. We don't know how he was injured, but Melissa's family has an idea.
Well, I'm glad to know my sister didn't go down without a fight.
Yeah. That definitely looks like he's been in a fight. It's hard to even look at him.
Police haven't identified Derek Hammer as a person of interest in the case. He is now in custody in Stevenson County related to his 2019 drug arrest. Public records weren't available over the holiday weekend to tell us why he was rebooked, but we will be looking for them tomorrow when the courts open.
We begin tonight with more on the disappearance of Melissa Trumpy.
Trumpy's been missing since October 26th. Rachel Perry caught up with some officials involved in the search for her. Rachel, this search involves agencies in a couple of states.
Mimi and Eric, Carroll County Sheriff Ryan Klepping gave me a better look at what these searches consist of and tell me Melissa's case is being treated in a number of ways. But what I wanted to know is if they're looking at a suspect.
We're looking at every aspect at this point. Missing person, homicide, we're looking at every aspect.
Nearly 40 days and countless searches, but still no sign of Melissa Trumpy. Carroll County Sheriff Ryan Klepping says they won't stop searching. And out of those searches, does that also then include looking for remains?
Correct.
Melissa was last seen in Greene County, Wisconsin, leaving work. It's thought she was headed to her boyfriend's house in Carroll County. Her car was found the next day in rural Freeport.
No body, no crime. Does that apply in a case like this?
There are cases out there where charges have been filed without a body. So it's always a possibility.
But clipping won't confirm to me if someone has been named a person of interest in Melissa's case.
Just in general of what leads to naming someone a person of interest.
That's something that's all done through our attorneys involved. There's certain things we want to release to make sure that we don't hurt the investigation. We want to make sure that everything is done properly for the family so they can get the answers they need.
Greene County District Attorney Craig Nolan tells me he thinks this is a homicide.
Given the fact that, today's November 30th, we're looking at, 35 days, give or take. We're operating under the assumption that, there's a no-body homicide fundamentally.
Several agencies are now involved, and search crews are using drones, cadaver dogs, and helicopters. Nolan and Clipping are hoping those efforts will lead to Melissa.
Hopefully we can locate her, as soon as possible.
This is high priority. This is as high as they come for our county. We haven't stopped since day one, and we're not going to stop.
If you have any information on Melissa's disappearance, you can call Carroll County Sheriff's Department at the number on the screen.
We're learning new information about the moments leading up to the disappearance of a Monticello woman.
Melissa Trumpy was last seen in Monroe October 26th. Her truck was found days later in Pearl City, Illinois. Melissa's family tells 27 News it has searched hundreds of miles and won't rest until she's found. New at 6, Tony Galley has you covered on new information that reveals what happened in the weeks before she was last seen.
There were smiles for Melissa Trumpy and her boyfriend Derek Hammer, but they were also both charged in September with maintaining a drug house. And Melissa Trumpy's sister Mandy Maboj says just before Melissa Trumpy disappeared, the authorities wanted Trumpy to help convict Hammer.
She had actually met with them and was cooperating.
But Maboj was worried, knowing Hammer had previously created danger in Nevada, having been convicted in 2017 of the crime of unlawful possession, manufacture, or disposition of explosives.
Because they knew the man they were dealing with.
Authorities arrested Hammer on charges including having contact with Trumpy in violation of his bail. But his arrest came after Melissa Trumpy went missing. As people continue to search for the missing woman, Trumpy still has a felony case against her.
Do you feel, given the circumstances, that the case should be dropped or suspended?
Drop it or suspend it, I would say.
Melissa Trumpy's big sister will continue to be involved in search efforts, continue to hope Hammer provides any information he may have on the disappearance, and continue to hope to reunite with Melissa.
I mean, that would be the greatest thing ever, but it's just not likely.
As hope dwindles. Tony Galley, 27 News.
Greene County District Attorney Craig Nolan says he's never met with Melissa Trumpy in connection to the criminal case against her. He did not comment on anything investigators did or on Monday's court event. Derek Hammer is in jail in Shannon, Illinois, but does not face charges connected to Trumpy's disappearance.
We also have
From Las
continuing
Vegas, Nevada.
coverage of a
This
missing
is
persons
episode
case.
79
The Carroll
for Sunday, December 26th, 2021. As you have just seen from the news clips, Wisconsin woman Melissa Trumpy has now been missing for 2 months. She was last seen on October 26th in the company of Derek Hammer in Illinois. Her car was later found abandoned. I would agree with the Greene County, Wisconsin District Attorney that this is most likely a homicide investigation without a body at this time. Derek Hammer, Melissa's ex-boyfriend, has not been named by law enforcement officials as a person of interest/suspect in Melissa's disappearance. That said, Derek Hammer would be at the top of my list of possible suspects in Melissa's disappearance. Derek Hammer is a convicted felon. In August 2016, Hammer was charged in Las Vegas, Nevada, with the felony charges of second-degree kidnapping, coercion with force or threat of force, domestic battery by strangulation, and assault with a deadly weapon. On August 23, 2016, the Clark County, Nevada District Attorney's Office denied the assault with a deadly weapon charge. Hammer waived his right to a preliminary hearing, and the case was bound over to the 8th Judicial District Court for the remaining 3 felony charges. Hammer subsequently made bail. In May of 2017, the Las Vegas Metropolitan Police Department obtained a declaration of arrest warrant for Derek Hammer on 4 felony counts of possession and/or manufacture of an explosive device. That case was also bound over to the 8th Judicial District Court. On November 11, 2021, Derek Hammer accepted a plea deal, pled guilty to battery by strangulation. The remaining felony charges were dropped by the District Attorney's Office. Hammer was sentenced to a minimum of 21 months to a maximum of 60 months in Nevada State Prison. On November 20, 2017, Hammer was found guilty of 1 count of manufacture and/or possession of an explosive or incendiary device. The remaining 3 charges were dismissed. On that charge, Hammer was sentenced to a minimum of 14 months to a maximum of 48 months in Nevada State Prison. According to Nevada Department of Corrections records, Derek Hammer had a parole hearing date on August 29, 2018. Hammer was subsequently released on parole. Now my closing comments. Melissa's sister, as we heard in that news clip, stated that her sister may have been cooperating with law enforcement with the case against Derek Hammer. If indeed that is true, and if somehow Hammer found out, one cannot rule out that as a possible motive for murder. You can couple that with one of her children telling his teacher that Hammer had assaulted his mother and threatened her with a shotgun about a month before she vanished. Hammer was already a convicted felon out of Nevada, and as such is forbidden by federal law to be in the possession of any firearms. Like I said earlier, I believe Melissa is deceased, and I do have hope that her body will be found. Law enforcement is not discussing the investigation, nor should they. That is the proper way to conduct an investigation. My thoughts are with Melissa's family. Thanks for listening, and I will keep you updated.